So if you want to lose weight, you want to get lean, you want to get rid of some excess body fat, one of the first decisions you have to make is how fast are you aiming to lose that weight? Because this will determine how you set up your diet, how big of a caloric deficit are you going to create. It's going to determine the duration of that diet. And this is a very important decision. This one thing can really mean a difference between success and failure. And you might have tried a bunch of things when you might have heard people say, well, you go as aggressive as possible, right? That's the solution. Like, get rid of that weight as soon as possible and then end the diet as quickly as you can. And you might have tried that. You might have tried some of those aggressive approaches where you might have regained the weight, ended up yo-yoing, and you don't want to repeat the same mistakes. Or you might have heard the advice that you want to go as slow and steady as possible, right? You want to lose half a pound a week, and let's say you got 50 pounds to lose, and you essentially got to diet for the next 2 years. And that doesn't sound as motivating to you. It's hard to get going when you know that you're going to be dieting for the next 2 years. And what I want to do in this video is I want to break down certain rules and criteria and things you need to keep in mind to set this target for yourself properly. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe below if you'd like to learn more about how to get lean, how to turn this into a lifestyle. Also enable notifications by hitting the bell icon. And now let's dive into it. So the first thing you should consider when deciding how aggressive to go with fat loss is your diet history. And I need you to be completely transparent and brutally honest looking at the past. Looking back, have you successfully lost body fat and kept it off? Have you done so in a systematic way? Or are you coming off of a streak of failed diets and now you want to do another one? What's your level of knowledge? Do you know concepts like calories and macros, or these things are just vague to you? How much nutrition tracking have you done? How much do you know about the overall process? And what's the leanest you've ever been in your life? Those are important questions because you don't want to start with an extremely aggressive goal if you don't have that experience to back that up. Because what I do see is beginners who are starting at beginners, and there's nothing wrong with being a beginner, setting the most ambitious weight loss goals, and then a month later, 2 months later, they just crash and burn, regain all the weight. Now, if you're an experienced person, and if you've been lean, and if you've done this in the past, and you kind of understand the process, well, yeah, then you can go aggressive. You should. You can push a little bit of that comfort zone and challenge yourself, because it is a great challenge to try out to do it a bit more efficiently now. And that's exactly what you can do when you have those skills for managing life and the diet, because life gets in the way. And now as an experienced person, you kind of know what's going to happen, and you know how to work around the weekends, you know how to work around the social events, you know how to work around when things are very, very stressful, because you have those skills burnt into your unconscious. Those are familiar situations to you compared to a beginner again, where you're just going there without any kind of idea what's going to happen. And of course, then there's a high chance of failure. Now, the second thing to consider here is also what is going to be happening in the next 6 months if you're now deciding to lose some weight. And by the way, before I dive into that, would really appreciate if you go below and smash that like button as hard as you can. It means a lot to me, and of course also helps a ton with the algorithm. Now, moving forward, when you look at the next 6 months, what I would like you to think about, if you're an experienced person, if you've done this for a while, think about a flexible fat loss rate. So when you look at that, it's a 6 months. Not every day is equal. Not every week is equal. So that means that you might have a slice of those 6 months when you go for 1% of weight loss per week. You can. Maybe the next 2 months, there's nothing really happening. The coast is clear, not much stress going on. You can go for the fastest rate possible. But then maybe 2-3 weeks later, things are a little bit trickier, so you can lower the expected weight loss rate to 0.5%. And maybe there's Christmas, so you lower the weight loss rate to 0. So you're essentially maintaining for a few days. So you have a flexible rate between 0 to 1%, which means that you're also adaptive to the life that's happening. And this is exactly the opposite of what most people do, which is set the bar to be, let's say, 1% of body weight per week, and anything that's less than 1%, no matter what's happening, it's a failure. And they're setting themselves up to keep failing time after time, being disappointed, demoralized, losing motivation, and it just doesn't work. You have to adjust the dieting speed to your lifestyle, and this is exactly what I do with my clients. We do a lot of planning. We analyze each part of the year, how it is actually happening. You can also look back at the previous year to kind of get an idea what might occur, and then you can adjust your plans accordingly. This is so powerful when properly done, because there are periods of time when you do have to slow down a little bit, but then you can speed up later. And this type of flexibility also allows you to think about this more like a lifestyle, and also allows you to think of and practice what an exit strategy might be when you finish the diet, because every diet has to have an exit strategy. Otherwise, again, you end up crashing, burning, and regaining all the weight. In these periods of doing 0% weight loss per week, which essentially is a diet break or diet maintenance, is teaching you how to handle when you have to do maintenance in the future. So it's a very powerful tool. I highly recommend you to do that. Also, I highly recommend you to subscribe below. Make sure to also hit that bell icon to enable notifications, details for coaching. If you want to work with me, if you want me to coach you on your journey, check out the description below. There's a link there so you can look at for more details, and I will see you in my next video.